Hey everybody, this is Brett Martin. I'm here with Tyler Colt, and we are going to do a product overview for you. Today, we are going to do it on Cliq. Cliq is Zoho's communication tool, very similar to Slack, if you're familiar with that. And it happens to be part of the Zoho Remotely suite. This was released during the COVID-19 crisis, which we happen to be in the middle of as we record this. And Zoho is actually giving away this suite free until July 1st, 2020. So we thought this was an appropriate time to kind of talk about Cliq and how we use it, because in fact, it's kind of the core to our interoffice communication. So when you log into Cliq, this is the home screen you see, and everything running down the left-hand side here is kind of your command center. So Tyler, why don't you take us through this top to bottom?
Yeah, so starting in the top left, the first section is My Pins. So basically on any conversation or channel, you can go ahead and pin that conversation. And that basically brings it to the top of your list and the front of your mind, right? So we see here that Brett's running through and actually pinning a conversation with me and a automated bot or two, which we're going to bring up to the top of the page. And that basically just keeps them right there at the top of your list and separates them out from your conversations. Now below pins, you have the conversations tab. Now these include chats that are going from person to person. They can include group chats. They can include chats with different bots. And they can include chats that are running through channels. And kind of segueing down here, the channels are kind of like different chats for a specific topic or idea, right? So we see Brett's actually running through and creating a channel for company chit chat, right? So you may want to have a channel at your company for, unofficial conversation, right? So things that are not really important. If you miss something in chit chat, it's not mission critical, right? You could be saying, we've got a happy hour coming up. Could post a nice meme that you found online, an interesting article that you think may be relevant for some people. You can just go ahead and drop it in a channel. You'll notice though that when that channel is created and you chat into it, it actually pops up into the conversations section. So that conversations is kind of the aggregate there. And moving down below the channels, you have your individual contacts. So these are people that are either in your organization that are inside of your same Zoho plan, or people that are outside of your organization that you want to be able to communicate with through Cliq. And then if you go ahead and click on any of those contacts, it'll actually spin up a conversation with that specific contact. And down there at the very bottom of the page, we have our bots. So we've got a couple bots that we installed here for the demo. So Taz is the Zoho Cliq kind of standard bot. We have a bot for the Zoho Notebook and a bot for Zoho CRM. Now those bots can do a variety of things. You can either have notifications coming through them or they enable some commands. So see that Brett's actually typing in one of the commands through the CRM bot, where through the / command, we can actually pull up and chat a specific deal record, right? And that record will actually link us directly into the CRM to see that deal if we click on it. And so these bots can run a whole bunch of different functions for you just directly out of the CRM. So we'll see that we've got a little chat here in this conversation, and maybe we would want to add this as a note, right, to a specific contact or deal in the CRM. And so Brett's showing one of the functions that these bots can actually do, right, where you can select, let's go ahead and add this as a note. Let's add it to example deal 2. You can drop a title in to that note, and then we'll see the note content is going to auto-populate with whichever chat you selected. All right, so he's going to go ahead and add that note. It'll give you a little link to that record, and we can pop that up. And then in the CRM, we'll see that now there's this note, right, which was added to the deal just directly through Cliq. So, while Cliq serves a ton of purposes for internal communication, you can actually go ahead and extend it to do actions all across the Zoho universe.
And I think it's important that, this is a centralized communication tool for us. So not only can you do the things we're talking about now, but you also can directly communicate with each other. So up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a little telephone. You can make an audio call, a video call, or a screen share. So I'll quickly make a video call to Tyler. It's going to ring and he'll answer, and now all of a sudden we're in a video call. And you can go ahead and you can blow that up and you've got the video call going back and forth. He also at this point in time can share a screen with me. So you can be in a call, you can just share a screen, you can have just audio, you can have video, or you can do both. So here he's decided to share a screen. So now you can discuss the screen as well and kind of go through and discuss what you're wanting to discuss. You know, you can also, rather than using email, we'll oftentimes use this to discuss a wide variety of things. Let's say we had just created a new logo for the, that was going to go up on our website. So this tips and tricks, you can easily go in here and say, please review and share the file, and then the file goes into the channel as well. You can do this with documents, you can do this with links. So it becomes this general little spot where you get this overall communication, and maybe you just don't want to have one-on-one, maybe you want to have a team call. So we wanted to do something with Tyler and Skylar. I could start a group conversation and you just choose. So for the purpose of this demo, we just got two in here. So I will set up the group conversation, you get this done, and now you have a group conversation. And you can, again, do the exact same type of communication we did here. You can do that. You can do a group call in here as well. You can do a group video chat. And again, it's just kind of a whole different thing. So if you want to set up a conference call, and this, for purposes of, you may want to give it a topic, you may want to keep it, everybody knows what it is. Maybe you just want to do audio, maybe you want to do video. You can go through, select everything, make sure everything looks good. And then that's going to ring everybody in everybody's click, and then everybody can join one by one by one. The advantages you get here is you can have up to 9 people, and you can kind of quickly have a general conversation. So from the purpose of this becoming an overall communication tool, it's something that we use daily to keep everything in one place. And Tyler had talked a little bit about channels, and we set this general chit chat, company chit chat channel up here as well. But you also can create channels that maybe you want to share with external users or only an external channel. So in other words, a person does not have to be a Zoho user or a member of your Zoho organization to communicate with you on Cliq. You can invite people from the outside and have an entire channel where you're doing all of these things with them as well, having the video calls, sharing documents, communicating back and forth in real time collaboration. There's a whole bunch that you can do with this. So, and I think one of the key things, Tyler, also is the overall extensibility now that they've added the marketplace into it.
Yeah, I mean, there's just an incredible amount of different tools that you can plug directly into Cliq, right? And so there's a bunch of them that are across the, Zoho world, right? Like Zoho Desk, Zoho Expense, but then there's others that have nothing to do with Zoho, right? You can tie in Box or MailChimp or even Trello, to create cards on a Trello board, right? So just a whole bunch that you can just plug right into Cliq and really extend the functionality for it. And it can be a nice place to see a lot of these things because communication is so core to what you're doing, right? So maybe if you think about, why would I want to integrate DocuSign with my chat tool, right? Well, maybe you're talking about something that you need a signature on, right? And you want to just be able to quickly push that out and send it for signature, right? So you've got all these different things that, tie into a communication where if you integrate it with the proper app, you can turn that conversation into action.
And it's highly extensible. If you look back somewhere, I think in January 2000 or 2020, we did a nice little video on how you can build a bot for this. And it was how to connect Cliq to Zoho Connect, and just kind of what we did with the CRM, where you're sending something to the CRM and adding it as a note. Maybe it's a task. Somebody says something, this needs to get done. You can add it directly as a task into Zoho Connect, assign it to a board and connect, and there it is, and away you go. So if you really want a central form of communication, I think you can look no further than Zoho Cliq. It's going to give you everything you want. We really appreciate you stopping by. If you have any questions, reach out. We're happy to answer them for you.